Hi everyone, here in this part we will use basic nested loop with numbers. Let's see what we're gonna do.
Let's look at the nested for loop and let's talk about it a little bit. So for just a basic for loop for I in range 5 and print I, it is iterating the each variable that has been stored in I, printing as number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. And if you add inner for loop for I in range 5, let's see what happened. So it's going to be, so let's say B inside. So it's going to be, the output is going to be something like that. So what's going on here? The inner loop will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loop. This is outer loop, this is inner loop. So the inner loop is going to be repeated. Can you see that? It's repeated this part. This is the inner loop, and this part the outer loop. So inner loop goes to 0 to 4 every iteration. 0 to 4, 0 to 4, 0 to 4 for every iteration, 5 times repeated. But the outer loop is just repeated 5 times for each inner loop. So the program first encountered the outer loop, executing its first iteration. So this is the zeros, the first iteration ending for each inner loop. The first iteration triggers the inner nested loop, which then runs to completion. Then the program returns back to the top of the outer loop here, completing the second iteration and again triggering the nested loop. Again, the nested loop runs to completion. The program returns back to the top of the outer loop until the sequence is completed. This is basic the outer loop. This is basic the nested loop. It works like that. We're gonna talk about the nested loop in the following questions. I just wanna talk about a little bit because the question is about nested loop. Okay. Hold on a second, we can comment this one if you like. Control I help you to convert to command all the codes. Okay, let's look at the question. What the question is about. Let's summarize the question together and find out we can build the codes right after we summarize. The question asks you to 10 random zeros and ones all in the same line. Okay, the key part is 10 random zeros and ones all in the same line. The second key part is asking next line do the same with 11 random zeros and ones. And the third one, the next line has to has 12 random zeros and ones. So it goes back to 5th lines, right? So each one with one more line, one more random value than the previous line. Okay, we can look at the output should be look like. Okay, so in this question we're gonna use random because it's required random zeros and ones. Okay, this time we're gonna again use import random. We can directly use import random. Okay, or you can write from random import random because we're gonna use again in function. And it says that it should start from 10 random zeros, and it goes by the 50 lines. Okay, so we're gonna use for I in range 10 to 61. So why it is 61? It goes to 50 and it starts from 10 random zeros and ones, and it goes to 50. So 10, let me show you. It starts from 10, goes by and repeat 50 times, and it ends to 61. So it's gonna be like 10 plus 50, it's gonna be 60. So in order to be exclusive, we're gonna write 61. It's going to be 61 because it should be 60 has to be included. Okay, so this is for I in range 10 to 61. We figure out this one, and the next requirement is the next line with 10 next line with 11 random zeros and ones, and the other one is 12 zeros. So this time we have to write down the inner for loop, but the inner for loop has to be with different iteration variable in range within this range, so within in I. Because why we call I here? I is gonna be 10, 11, 13, 14 until 61, right? So this is the other loop, this one. It starts from 0, it goes 1, 2, something like that. So it starts from 10, 11, 13, it goes like that. So the inner value has to be, so it is I is gonna be 10, and so the I is gonna be used here 10, and this inner loop is gonna generate the iteration based on the other loop. So the question is asking for print rand end, because it has to has 10 all ones and zeros and ones, right? So randed should produce the numbers between 0 and 1, and it has to be in the same line. So we're gonna use this. Let's run it. What we're gonna have, this is it. We did something wrong right there. Okay, let me do something like that. Okay, so why we write print here? Because print has given a space for the inner loop. So we need space to write down the numbers like that, because this one is running the inner loop, right? Inner for loop. But we need to print out the values out of the inner loop. That's why we have to add print outside the inner loop. Okay, that's why we are adding print like that here. Okay, that's all we can do today. Hope you liked the video, and if you have any question about the answer, just let me know. You know that there are many ways you can find out the answers. Just let me know if you have any questions, then I'm gonna do my best to answer. Thank you for watching.